If you're interested in building a successful financial future, keep listening. Because today we're going to give you the inside scoop. Welcome to another edition of the McEnulty Method. I'm your host, Bill of Ashwick, and I'm joined by financial experts Frank McEnulty and Colin Sorrells. They're here to give you the tools you need to create the future you want. Frank, Colin, how are you guys doing?
Great, Bill. How are you?
I'm good.
Excited to be back.
It's great. It is good to be back. And since this is our first one back, we're going to start at kind of the base. Today, I want you guys to discuss personal finance. And the first thing I think we all need to know is, what is personal finance? Colin?
Well, I think personal finance, it's one of those things, we all think we know it. I think we all are pretty familiar with, the way businesses work, but sometimes we don't always apply it to yourself. So I would say personal finance is being your own business, and all about making the right financial choices, setting yourself up for a healthy financial life.
It makes sense. Frank, what's your take?
Well, Colin's right. In many ways, it's very simple. Everybody's going to have to work for a living. They're going to have their whole life earning money, spending money. And so it's all about, how do I make sure that I, quite honestly, spend less than I make, set myself up for a secure financial future, and am able to retire someday in the future.
That would be the hope.
That kind of gets to the second question I was really going to ask you guys, which is, why should young adults care about personal finance? I mean, they have their whole life ahead of them. Why at the age of 18 or 20 or 21 do you need to know about personal finance?
Well, because they are 18 or 20 or 21. Learning about personal finance when you're 60, 70, while not something you shouldn't learn if you hadn't learned it before, you don't have that one thing in your favor that 18-year-old has, and that's time. Time is a tremendous asset when it comes to personal finance, saving money, investing money, building wealth. Due to this simple thing called compound interest, where you earn interest, then you earn interest on the interest, and you earn interest on the interest, and on and on and on. And if the earlier you start, the much better off you're going to be later on in life. And to me, personal finance and being successful at it is reaching something I call being comfortable, financially comfortable. I'm not talking about getting ridiculously wealthy, having yachts and mansions and everything, but just when you get older, that you're comfortable. You're not worried about money all the time. You're not worried about how you're going to retire. And that's why if you start when you're 18, 20, 21, when you get that first full-time job, it's not hard to do. It's not hard to reach comfortable. But if you wait until you're 40, I'll wait. I want to spend money now. I want to do this. I want to do that. You can still do some of those things, but put some of what away. Colin, what do you think?
No, I think you hit the nail on the head. I mean, the key is time. And I know as we do all of these episodes, this is going to be a theme that comes up again and again, right? We talk about time and why it's your greatest friend in personal finance. And, the other big reason you should really care about personal finance is not just the time, but you don't want to start behind the 8 ball. That's cutting into your time to grow your financial success. And, I just, before we came on here, I was looking at some numbers online and we're seeing in young adults, particularly 18 to 25 years old, when you talk about non-housing debt, so that's credit card debt, that's any kind of goods that you owe money on, all-time high, credit card debt per capita in young people, all-time high, you don't want to start behind the 8 ball. You want to allow time to take effect and be making good choices for as long as possible. And if you can do that, like Frank said, it's not about being ridiculously wealthy, but you'll set yourself up for a comfortable financial life.
Well, I think that's something we all aspire to. We did get a question sent in, and I'm hoping you guys can answer it. We're going to call this the question of the day. It's from Teal. Teal asks, what are some of the best free resources to start learning basic personal finance?
Well, in this age of the internet, there's almost too many free resources to learn. That sometimes it's overwhelming how much information is out there. So you need to just grab one. And people who've heard my videos and podcasts before know I talk about Vanguard a lot because I have an account there. And they're a very low cost place to start investing. And they have tremendous resources available for anybody to learn about mutual funds, ETFs, stock investing, on and on and on. They have it all. Another place would be credit unions. Your credit union is your friend. They want you to be successful. Remember, credit unions are owned by the members. The people that have accounts there actually own the credit union versus banks. You're just a customer. Or as a credit union, you're technically an owner. And they have resources where you can go on their website and they have personal finance resources. Another great place is Clark Howard. He has this thing he calls Cheapskate U. But another tremendous place to learn. And it's like I tell people when they're studying for a big test or something, there's no need to cram. Look up something, set aside 15 minutes a day that you're going to learn more about investing, finances, stocks, bonds, real estate, whatever you want that has to do with money. But just spend 15 minutes a day. That way it's not a burden. You're not under any pressure. Once again, you've got time. 15 minutes a day. I don't want to think too hard. So if you only make 4 days a week, that's an hour a week. In a year, that's 50 hours of reading. That's a full college course by the time you're done, and you'll learn a lot. The internet is tremendous. It has everything. Now, I'm going to caution you: don't go on websites that promise you're going to make 20% a year. You're going to double your money. You're going to triple your money. No. Go to the credit union website. Go to the Vanguard. Go to Clark Howard. Get rational, normal advice. Colin, what do you think?
No, I completely agree. I mean, my thing was going to be just start, right? I think sometimes we're looking too hard for the very clear linear path. You're going to learn A, then you're going to learn B, and you learn C, and you just end up never starting. And, we already said it, right? Time is everything. So start now. And Frank, I love what you said, spend 15 minutes a day. And I remember being young, high school, early college years, the way I started was, what was one question I had? And you Google it and you start reading about it, and usually another question pops in and then another question. But just start, start with whatever's most pressing on your mind and go do it. But to your point, Frank, there's so many resources out there. The same way you would with any school project, vet it. Try to understand, what are they saying to you? Is it just, this feels very objective, this is just information, or is there a sales element to it? You got to be cautious always with those things and what they're telling you, but just get started a little bit at a time. And yeah, you got to vet the source.
Right, because if everybody else is offering, telling you the market goes up 8 to 9% a year over time, somebody's promising you they're going to make you 30% a year. Is it too good to be true? Probably. But everybody's got that story about, I bought Bitcoin at $0.25 and now it's $60,000. Okay. Yes, but not everybody did. Some people are lucky. The people I know that are most happy are those that they're the plotters. Read some, invest some. read some, invest some. Just keep doing it. Get into the healthy in financial habits, and in 40 years, you'll be very, very happy.
And Frank, you're very, very humble. You named Vanguard. You named the credit unions. We'll do a little. I'm shameless, so I'll promote us a little bit. I know we're going to be doing some episodes on as many personal finance topics as we can, and we're going to try and provide reasonable, objective information. And then I know we're gonna, when we see good resources, link them, recommend them, reference them. So, I'd recommend everyone continue to listen, and we'll call out those great resources. But to wrap that up, I guess just get started.
Be curious.
Yeah.
Be open to learning. That's the key.
All right. Well, thank you, guys. That was really very interesting stuff. And you'll get a chance to expound on some of that, because on our next episode, we want you to reveal the secrets of handling a financial basic that really causes a lot of people, just needless headaches. And I'm talking about banking. So the next time, for you listening, you don't want to miss this. You're going to find out stuff that will save you time, money, and hassle. Thanks for listening. If you want to learn more, you can check out our other episodes at our YouTube channel at TheMcEnultyMethod, or wherever you're listening to this podcast. All right, Frank, Colin, I guess we'll see you next time on The McEnulty Method.